Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to PBTV. I'm Stu, and we're here on YouTube and Facebook. So, again, this has been a request from a few people off Instagram, brand new to the hobby, starting out just after coming into the new year, and really keen to get onto game days. But they're also wondering what they could get down the line. They're obviously going to rent a couple of times, but just to give them an idea of what they can get their hands on as a first platform. And rather than going to the standard G&G, like the Raider or things like that, we thought we'd bring something a little bit different out. And we have made a pack with these on the bundle page, so you can get a couple of mags and an optic with it as well. But any questions on this? This is the Evolution Recon S Carbontech 14.5 inch variant. The length variant is purely the barrel. Apart from that, it's the Carbontech series is very, very similar in how it's built and what's in the gearbox, etc. But we'll go through it. Any questions at all, by all means, drop them down below and we will get to you as quickly as we can. So, off the bat, it does have the 40mm counterclockwise thread on the front end, but when you get this out of the box, you will be greeted with this. A big orange, very, very bright flash hider, and you'll look at it and go, what's that? There's no glue, there's no grub screw or anything. It simply screws straight off counterclockwise, and then you can put the metal black one that is in a little bag in the box. It's just where they're from, so they just have to travel with the orange tip on. Coming back from that, we do have the 14.5 inch barrel, so it is a full carbine length platform, so you're going to get a benefit of range and accuracy about this. It does have a couple of other features internally I'll come to in a bit that will add to that accuracy as well. Bit further back, so we do have spring-loaded flip-up sights, so simply pressing the switch at the back, pops them up and you're good to go. The back is the same, so we have a pin sight on the front and an aperture sight on the back. Simply pressing them, pops them up and you're good to go. Reaper, one of our regulars. How much does she weigh? So this is what we mean by Carbontech. So this is an Evolution Airsoft buzzword, and it is the polymer that they've made. So it is a polymer build in certain parts, but it doesn't feel like you'd expect from a polymer platform, sort of a little bit stretchy or a little bit bendy sometimes and creaks and everything. It is a really, really solid platform, almost like if you've ever had an EU 17 or an 18 in your hands, that kind of really thick, dense polymer. But saying that, they're about 2.4 kilos, as is, so obviously no optic and no BB's battery or anything like that in it. So dry weight is about 2.4 kilos, so not terrible. Again, once you've got this thing shouldered, the weight balances out and it does actually feel lighter once it's shouldered. Throw a sling on it, so you do have two sling points at the back. So throw a sling on it and it is going to take the weight again a little bit more, and you do have some QD bits at the back. If you want to sling it any other way, you could attach any sling point you want, with it being a key mod front end and Riz. Coming to the front rail system, so it's a little bit weird how they've made this, but it's just something, maybe an ease of manufacture that they've done it. It is key mod, and it looks like it's key mod all the way around, but unfortunately it's not. So the 3, 6 and 9 o'clock positions are genuine key mod and will fit parts. The actual angled parts have been machined straight down, so they should have been machined like this, but they've been machined flat, so they look like warped key mod sections. So it does take away some of the weight, but unfortunately key mod parts are not going to fit in there. It does mean that if they were going to lightweight it and do it with funky shapes, they wouldn't do anything anyway. So they've tried to keep it in mind with a look, but the actual angle sections are not key mod. But the rail section you can see on here, the bottom and the left hand side, are actually key mod adapted sections. So if you want to take these off, move them about, take them off completely and keep it lightweight, that's totally doable. For example, you might not want a foregrip right at the front, you might want it at the back. You can take this bit off, unclick it, bring it to the back and tighten it up again. Same with the sections. So you've got two short sections, one long section. You could even take the long section off, put it on the side, do whatever you want. It's just, it gives you a bit of freedom, and the fact that you're getting 3 key mod rail sections in it is very, very rare in a beginner platform. Ian Green, good afternoon. Which mid cap would you recommend for it? So it does come with a 300 round high cap. So again, if you are starting out, high caps are brilliant for that. You don't have to worry about other things. But if you actually check the pack that we've put together, we've added a couple of, I believe they're 200 round battle axe mags. Maybe wrong. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head. But Again, it's just a couple of mid-caps to go with it to get you started out and good to go. But again, if you're just wanting this on its own, a 300 round high cap is going to last you plenty of time. Just stick to a little bit of a cautious rate of fire. And again, reloading a high cap is very, very easy as well. If you're wanting mid-caps, this will fit absolutely any of them. Obviously, the ones that we've recommended are the ones that we have put with it because they look the same as the one that comes with it, not necessarily the ones that we recommend for it, because most mid-caps, if not all mid-caps, are pretty much the same. It only comes in different when it comes to EPMs, EPS, and things like that. But we put a mid-cap that looked similar to the other one, so you're not running around with different mags. Lewis Marshall, what material is she made out of? So the rail and the receiver are polymer, but they are Evolution Airsoft's own makeup of polymer is maybe the right word. So they call this the Carbontech series. So they've specifically formulated a certain type of polymer, a certain way of putting it together, and the receiver and the rail are that. So it's not the flexible sort of creaky plastic that you usually get with some extremely sort of introductory platforms. It is very, very solid, and as I said earlier, if you've ever had your hands on like an EU17 or anything like that, it's very similar to that. It feels very solid. There's no creak or bend. Even the actual rail section where this is connected, it's not moving. You've not got that plastic creak. You've not got any slight wobbles or bends. It is an absolutely rock solid platform for what is essentially something polymer. The barrel, the flash hider after you've changed it, the mag and the stock tube and some various other parts are metal. As I was saying earlier, when you get it out of the box, it has got the plastic. So this is plastic, not polymer. So this is the sort of cheap stuff. These just have to travel with this because of where they're from. There's no glue, there's no grub screw. This thing will screw off straight away. And the metal bird cage is in the box in a little bag. Just screw it straight on and you are good to go. Owen, what's the brand of airsoft rifle, and is it a reliable brand in regards to construction, and will it last a while? We've been quite impressed with so this is Evolution Airsoft. You might not be able to see it, but that is the symbol for them there. We've got a few different variants. So again, this is the entry-level system. So again, it is a standard version 2 gearbox. It does have some very, very cool parts. There is a machined section in the gearbox if you want to add a MOSFET later down the line. It has a 6.01 millimeter inner barrel. So again, your range and your sort of grouping and your consistency is going to be absolutely incredible. Stepping up their range into the Ghost DMR, things will have electronic triggers and everything like that. As a brand that has a very, very, very good trajectory up the sort of level of platform, we've picked this out because someone wanted to know what is a very, very good starter platform that has options down the line. So like I was saying, the gearbox in this has a pre-machined cutout for MOSFETs later down the line. It has a 6.01, again, almost unheard of in beginner platforms. 6.03 is usually normal. What we will say about 6.01s is they are much more consistent on semi-auto. Full auto, you're going to have more of a FPS drop because obviously having multiple BBs down the barrel, your air that's coming out can't affect all of them. So the more BBs you have down there, you're going to drop a little bit of FPS off. Again, what that does mean though is with a 6.01 on semi-auto, your air efficiency is going to be better. So the volumetric efficiency of the piston is going to be better going down the barrel. You're going to have much better FPS with a lower power spring, which means you don't have to stress the gearbox. You're not going to have any failures with the piston, the gears, or anything like that. It does have steel gears as well, so it's all been thought about, and it is an exceptionally well put together platform. Ian, could you use 11.1 on it? Absolutely not. We can't, in good conscience, recommend an 11.1 on something that doesn't have a MOSFET, is a UK power limits, and is just a standard platform. And it's not because it can't handle it electronically wise. What we have as a problem in the UK is the actual physical speed the piston is pushed forward by the springs. The speed that's pushed forward by the spring that's in here is slower than how fast an 11.1 would spin the gears. So your piston would only be partly forward by the time the gears are spun round again. They will mesh at the wrong point and either rip the bottom of the piston off, or again, because the steel gears, it's more likely to damage the piston. but in some cases it might damage the gears. Again, with UK power limits, stick to that 7.4, maybe go to a 9.9 life or a NIM battery. That'll be totally fine. But NIM batteries might be quite difficult to fit in this because it is a standard stock. There's no crane ability, so a LiPo is going to be smaller, easier to fit in there, and probably run a little bit longer. So a couple of other features that we have a more sort of right-handed dominant platform. So the fire selector is on the left-hand side, so we have safe, semi, and full auto. Mag release on the right-hand side there. As I said, dropping this out brings you the 300-round high cap. We do have an extension on the charging handle, bringing that back if we catch it right. We will find, again, in the bright orange plastic, a little bit easier to find in the dark or anything like that, we have a rotary style hop. Again, rotary style hops in sort of standard platforms, they're much more consistent, where sliders and gear types put a few rounds through it, a few high caps. I'm not saying after 5 or 10 rounds, but after a few hundred rounds, maybe halfway through a day, there is a chance that it could tweak slightly and just be off when that crucial shot comes in. When it comes to the rotary one, once it's set, it's very, very difficult for it to be moved by the sort of operation of the platform. Paul Eastwood, is it Tamiya or Deans? Out the box, these are Tamiya connectors, so it is the standard box style Tamiya connector. Again, you could change it to Deans, no problem. Quite a simple task if you know what you're doing. Again, down the line, and the other platforms that Evolution do when you're going up their range into the Ghost DMR and things that have the electronic trigger unit and the MOSFETs pre-built, they come with Deans anyway, because most of the MOSFETs on the market now will have a Deans connector because it is the better connector. It has less resistance. Your battery's going to last marginally longer, but the power delivery is also cleaner as well. So if you've got any other questions, by all means drop them down below. I will, for the people that are just joining us, I will go from front to back quickly again. But if there's anything you want to know, by all means drop us a comment. So we do have 40mm counterclockwise on the front. Behind that we do have the 14.5 inch outer barrel. Underneath there, inside we do have a 6.01 millimeter inner barrel, meaning range and consistency and accuracy are going to be exceptional on this on semi-auto. We do have a key mod system. On the 6, 3, and 9 o'clock position is true key mod. The bits that are on the 45s is not true key mod. It's just the way it's been machined to look that way. It's just one of them things you'll have to work with. Can you change the barrel to a shorter one? I do believe that the Carbontech, the Recon S, there is a shorter one. So maybe not this one, but there are other Recon S that have shorter barrels, pre-built devices on the front, sound enhancers, anything like that. Very, very much like other brands like Spectre and Cyma and everything like that. They will have most likely a build that is very, very, very similar into what you already want, rather than getting something like this and then trying to swap something out to be different. Just have a look through the range, and there probably is one that's more like what you're after anyway. It's better for budget and everything like that, and you're not risking it breaking on you if you're having to swap barrels out or anything like that. If you're new to the sport. We do have 3 rail sections included on this, so we have a longer one on the bottom, and we've got one on the right and one on the left. Again, these can be moved any way you want on the key mod. These are the adapters specifically for key mod, so they're not in place. If you want to take them off completely, again, you can do that, but say you wanted to put a grip on here, you can just move it to the back and put it there as well. The rail and the receiver are Evolution Airsoft's homebrew polymer called Carbontech. Again, as I mentioned it earlier, it is absolutely rock solid. There's pros and cons between metal and polymer platforms. There's a lot of people that have a preconception that a metal riff is better than a plastic one. Not necessarily true. You can bump, scrape, and probably bang this into a tree as you're playing, and it will scuff, scratch, and probably bounce. A similar hit with a metal one could crack or snap. But yet down the line, the polymer is going to be not as forgiving in the long term compared to a metal one, and the polymer ones are much, much lighter. So there's pros and cons for both. One is not better than the other one in our humble opinion. It is right-handed dominant, so the fire selector on the left-hand side, safe, semi, and auto, and pulling the chanter handle back, you get the rotary style hop. Slimline stock, it is a very, very nice stock on this, completely different to the sort of standard sort of plasticky ones you get on most entry guns. It is a similar polymer to the rest of it, and it does look really neat and sort of a little bit more than what you'd expect from the standard stuff. Got 2 sling points on the back here, right and left, and we have a QD section on the stock as well. But very impressed with these. I mean, even internally, having steel gears and a 6.01 is exceptional on something that we are pumping out there as a beginner gun. Like, my first airsoft toy is definitely something like this. We've put a pack together that has a couple of extra mags, a vector optics and stuff like that, so check that out on the bundles. But if that's everything for today, it is Friday, so hopefully you can get out there, hit a field, and let us know how you get on. If you get any pictures, share them with us on Instagram and anything like that. We love to share them and we love to see them. But if that's everything for this week, we'll be back again on Monday at about 4 p.m. But if you're not getting out there over the weekend, we do have the muzzle flash section at the top of the website, so check that out, and things like this may even be in there. But I'll see you in a bit and catch you on Monday. Bye.